Okay, before we get into the next section, I want to just refresh your memory and remind you of something that I might have forgotten to mention, and that is with this kind of problem, um, when you have a dilution problem, you always want to put together the things that are connected by the word of. So it doesn't matter which one you call M1 and V1 and which one you call M2 and V2, as long as you keep them together if they're the same. So in this example, 100 milliliters of zero point 0.4 molar would mean that that's an M and a V that need to stay together. So you could call that M1 and V1, or you could call it M2 and V2, but just be aware that if it's 100 milliliters of zero point 0.4 molar, you would do 100 milliliters times zero point 0.4 equals 2 molar times the V2 that you're looking for, or whatever. Okay, so that's how I knew which way around to do it. It doesn't matter what order you put them in, as long as the ones that are connected by of stay together. Okay, so today we're talking about colligative properties, which is kind of a scary word for something that's pretty easy. It's an easy idea. Something that I want you to remember from earlier on in the year is the definition of vapor pressure. I called that the pressure pushing out. Okay, we have the pressure pushing back or pushing down, holding those molecules in, and the vapor pressure is how easily the particles leave solution. The higher the vapor pressure, the more they want to turn into a gas. We talked about molecules falling off the edge of a cliff. Okay, the party on the edge of the cliff. The higher the vapor pressure, the more likely they are to fall off the cliff, so the more likely it is to turn into a gas. Okay, and we said that if the vapor pressure, the pressure pushing out, is equal to the atmospheric pressure, the pressure pushing down, then the solution will do what? It'll boil. Okay, so when you dissolve something and make a solution, so adding a solute, remember the substance that gets dissolved, to make a solution, the solute and the solvent put together, these three things happen. The vapor pressure gets lower, so it's harder to turn into a gas. The boiling point, as a result, goes up, and the freezing point goes down. These same three things always happen. The freezing point of the substance will never go up as a result of adding a solute, and the boiling point will never go down as a result of adding a solute. So it's always the vapor pressure goes down, the boiling point goes up, and the freezing point goes down. And these three things are called colligative properties. Okay, and it depends on how many solute ions are present. In other words, if you dissolve a little bit, your pressure is going to go low a little bit, your boiling point is going to go up a little bit, and your freezing point is going to go down a little bit. If you dissolve a lot, then the same thing is going to happen. It's proportional. So your boiling point is going to go up a lot, and your freezing point is going to go down a lot. So how many ions are present is just how much are you dissolving. So of course, some math comes along with this. The formula for freezing point depression, as it's known, is delta TF equals KF times M times I. And depression, a reason called freezing point depression, to depress something is to put it down. Okay, so remember, the freezing point always goes down, the boiling point always goes up, so we call that boiling point elevation. Okay, so the formula for freezing point depression to calculate how much is the temperature going to change when I dissolve something in it is this formula right here. So the delta TF is the change in the freezing point. Makes sense. Delta is change, T is temperature, F for freezing. So the change in the freezing temperature. KF is a constant. Remember the gas constant was R, 0.0821. Well, KF is the freezing point constant for water. It's always 1.86 degrees Celsius per molal. Okay, remember the little m stands for molality. This is the only one you'll have to memorize. There are other KFs for other substances, but most of the time we're going to be dissolving things in water, so that means that the KF for water is 1.86. Again, the little m stands for molality, or moles per kilogram of solvent, and I is the number of moles of ions that are made when you put the substance into, when you make the solution. So keep in mind, I stands for ions. If you dissolve something that's a molecule, like sugar, remember a molecule is all nonmetals. An ionic compound is a metal and a nonmetal. This stuff just keeps coming back to haunt you, okay? It never goes away, stuff you learned from first semester. So ion, metal and a nonmetal. Molecular compound, all nonmetals. If you're dissolving a molecular compound like sugar, then I is 1 because it doesn't break up into ions. You don't make any ions. Okay? If it's an ionic compound, we're going to see in the next slide how you calculate I. So let's do a practice problem. Estimate the freezing point of a solution of 0.2 molal K2SO4. As always, I'm going to tell you to write what you know. Make a list. We're estimate the freezing point. So our formula is delta TF equals KF times M for molality times I. Okay, so what's the change in the freezing point? Well, we're looking for the freezing point. So that's what we're looking for. KF for water is always 1.86 degrees Celsius per molal. The molality we're given is 0.2 molal. You won't always be given the molality. Sometimes you'll have to calculate it first. Now this is K2SO4. When you put this into solution, you get potassium and sulfate. Okay? So is this in a balanced equation? No, it's not. You need 2 potassiums for every 1 sulfate. Say the name, potassium sulfate. That tells you what ions it makes, potassium and sulfate. But the thing is that you have to have balance. There's 2 potassiums on this side, 2 potassiums right here, and so we need to put a 2 in front of that one. And there's 1 sulfate and 1 sulfate. So in this case, I is equal to 3. 2 plus 1. Okay, I'll give you another example just off to the side here. If we were doing sodium chloride, that would break up into sodium and chlorine. Now if you look, there's 1 sodium, 1 sodium, 1 chlorine, 1 chlorine. This one's already balanced. So I for this compound is 1 plus 1, 2. Okay, and we'll go over that a little more in class, but hopefully that makes sense to you right now. So I for K2SO4 is equal to 3. So now all we have to do is our good old plug and chug. Delta TF equals KF 1.86 times the molality 0.2 molal times I, which is equal to 3. When you multiply that out, you get 1.12 degrees Celsius. Okay? And a lot of people would think that that was the answer and to stop right there, but that's where you're wrong. This says estimate the freezing point. Well, since we dissolved it in water, the original freezing point of water is always 0 degrees Celsius. The change in the freezing point is right here, 1.12 degrees Celsius. The freezing point always depresses or goes down. So if we were started at 0, we're going to go down by 1.12 degrees Celsius. So our new freezing point is actually negative 1.12 degrees Celsius. That's your final answer. All right, the boiling point formula is the exact same formula. Delta TB equals KB times M times I. The only difference here is that KB is 0.51 degrees Celsius per molal. So the boiling point constant is 0.51. The freezing point constant is 1.86. Make sure you don't get those two mixed up, okay? M is still molality and I is still the number of moles of ions that are made. So let's do a practice problem for boiling point. What is the boiling point if you add 15 grams of salt to 100 grams of water? In this case, what is I? Well, again, this time we kind of already did it before. I is equal to 2 because sodium chloride makes 2 moles of ions. Okay? For some reason, that's like the hardest thing for people to get their mind wrapped around. It's not that complicated. Just treat it as counting up how many ions there are and balancing the equation. Okay, so we have 2 moles of ions in this case. So now we can work out our problem. Our formula is delta TB equals KB times M times I. It's always, here are 3 parts, solve for the other one. We're looking for the new boiling point. KB is 0.51. It's always the same for water, degrees Celsius per molal. The molality we're going to have to calculate, okay? So we have 15 grams of sodium chloride. Molality is moles per kilogram of solvent. That's what the molality is equal to. So we need to convert this into moles. Grams of sodium chloride. 58.5 grams of sodium chloride equals 1 mole. So when you calculate that out, you get 0.256 moles of sodium chloride. So that's going to go right here. Now the kilograms of water, we have 100 grams of water, so that's the same as 0.1 kilograms. And when you divide that, you get 2.56 molal. That's our molality. So we're going to use that over here. Whoops, 2.56 molal. Our I, we already figured out, is 2. So let's plug this into our equation. Delta TF equals KF, 0.51, times M, 2.56, times I, which is 2. And it's going to come out to be 2.61 degrees Celsius. Now again, this is not the answer. You have to read what the question is asking. What is the boiling point? Well, what is the original boiling point of water? 100 degrees Celsius. What does the boiling point always do? It elevates, it goes up. So that means that we have to add 2.61 degrees Celsius to our original boiling point. So our answer is actually 102.61 degrees Celsius. That's what the new boiling point is going to be. Okay? It's for this reason that we put salt onto roads. If you pour the salt onto the road, it lowers the freezing point of the water to below the normal freezing point. Okay, so if that's the case, then even if the temperature is 0 degrees Celsius out, the water on the roads is going to be liquid rather than ice, making it a lot safer to drive. So we don't really know a whole lot about that driving in Southern California, but the rest of the country knows all about that.